Happy Tuesday. It is July 25th, and I just wanted to say thank you for everyone that came to the Adulting Happy Hour last night. Everyone grabbed their favorite drink. We got to know each other more. And of course, the recording is now in our secret Facebook group. So check that out. There was some good content, some good connections there. And again, be on the lookout for future Adulting Happy Hours from Switchboard Networking Boutique. But we are going to dive in to strategy number, drum roll, 7. Okay. So it is rocking and rolling. Can you believe that we're on Tuesday? So again, yesterday we definitely talked about follow-up strategies. We talked about some scripting, and I gave you 4 kind of frameworks. Well, we're going to stick with the magical 4. Okay. So in my notes today, make sure that you have a pen and paper. Make sure that you're ready to talk about marketing, the magic of marketing. So you can write that down, the magic of marketing. And what I want to frame for the Adulting Challenge is that marketing is very, very different in each one of our businesses in terms of your content. Okay. So what you're going to explain, what graphics you're going to use, what little teasers or sound bites. I honor that that's going to look very different according to your brand, according to your audience, according to who you're wanting to speak to. So today is not about branding, okay? You finding kind of that niche, conversation and little taglines and little ways that capture your audience. This is about kind of the macro marketing plan, all right? So there's 4 parts that I want you to step back as a CEO, and as I explain each one of them, I want you to add them to your marketing plan and or enhance them in your current marketing plan and or Connie, I'm in the Adulting Challenge for this reason. I don't have a marketing plan, and I want to dive in a little bit more of what effective marketing can look like as we are outreaching, as we are creating our blogs, as we are doing content strategies, right? So for a lot of us as small business owners, we don't quite know what marketing looks like the tangible marketing widgets, right? So I'm going to give you 4 strategies for today in the comment section as you're watching this live or as you were watching the recording. I do want to hear what do you know about marketing, right? Just kind of already tell me what you feel like you're great at marketing. Tell me if it's because you do a lot of speaking engagements. Tell me because you have an incredible podcast. Tell me because you have a clean and clear newsletter that goes out every day or every Wednesday at noon. Tell me what you've been doing for marketing that has been working for you. These are going to be in some enhancements, or these are going to be some basics to keep building your infrastructure of engagement. Okay. So that you're not, again, having to do this kind of arbitrarily. So first technique is going to be the shout out technique. So I want you to start gaining kind of just the cadence of about once a month, you are shouting out to one of your referral partners. You're shouting out someone that had great results from your product or your service, but get kind of on the front load, right? So think about 12 months equals 12 shout outs. Okay. You don't have to be shouting out a client that just hit it out of the park. That's different than testimonials too. I'm not asking for Google reviews or testimonials or, share your experience and feedback. This is a shout out that you saw someone go above and beyond in your network to stay top of mind, in your client base, that they just won the award that that they've been working on for XYZ. They just hit that milestone of their weight loss journey or something that they were terrified to do, and they worked with you and then they accomplished that. Okay. So it's not a testimonial. It's you identifying and kind of searching around every single month to go I want to give a shout out to one of your employees. I want to give a shout out to one of the networking groups that you have experienced, just great successes with. So every month, one of your marketing language should be shout out. Okay. You can call it that. You can rebrand it something, but saying hey, Switchboard Networking Boutique wants to shout out such and such. Here's what we saw. Here's what we applauded. Go check out XYZ, her website, her next event. Go check out this next chamber experience. It's a great way for you to stay top of mind. You're still marketing your business. You're still explaining how your, services and products worked, but it's through the lens of a complete shout out to another person that did exactly what you wanted them to do with the product and service. So let's be honest, not everyone is like your perfect ideal client that goes through and you want to shout them out, right? These are the ones that are going to be completely your super fans. They're going to be kind of just taken back of, hey, I didn't know, like I did amazing, or I gave you that great, experience. But every single month, one of the tried and true ways without you being centric about just your sales conversation, again, marketing, right? Language that people can now use and understand what it's like to experience your product and service is a shout out technique. So if you haven't done that in July, start it. Start scheduling that every single month. Okay. That's a true foundational step of marketing. Number 2, slow down. Who's had a lot of coffee today? Y'all caught up? All right, let's do it. Okay, so your number 2 is a tutorial based content. So write that down, tutorial based content. So it is the how to you created XYZ. It's the creative process. It's the I went to this last, professional development day, and this is what we developed from it. So what I love is that this is from an industry standpoint of how you're leading the way, how you are taking the first initial steps to say, we just learned this process, we just learned this new technique. Think about that. Any of our industries, beauty industry, coaching industry, wellness industry, nutrition industry, like fill in the blank, there's always some tried and true new data coming out, trends, new ways that it's packaged, and like let's be on the front end of that. So a great way for you is to say, I just took this amazing webinar, or I just sat in a week with Mexico with Connie and I learned XYZ, and this is what this is how we're going to take steps 1, 2, 3. So if you look back all of 2023, have you done a Facebook Live? Have you done a series? Have you done 3 days of like, let me unpack, a 3-day series? Whether that be just static graphics for a week, right? You just have a tutorial that break down the steps if you're terrified of going Facebook Live or terrified of doing videos. Is it just a 3-part series of an email sequence, a journaling sequence, a self-reflection sequence? But I'm telling you, part of your marketing strategy should be tutorials, not just educational, but breaking down a series, breaking down a challenge like we are doing, breaking down a 5-step framework. People gravitate towards, I want you to solve my problem and I want steps. Now, we all know it's not that canned. It's always customized. It does depend on how much the customer engages. But if you're seeing disengagement on your social media or on your email click open rate, and you're like, that's the number one way I market my new services or programs, and I'm not getting people to open up, it may be because you have not marketed a new tutorial, a new way of looking at this, a new way that you're implementing, a new way that you're seeing successes. So even just in those last 4 examples, that could be your headliner, right? Is 5 new ways, or a framework for, or as you head into this transition, let me break down the steps. Use that language in your marketing. Okay. Now that may not be in July, but again, we're working for quarter 3. We're teaching, we're learning some new skill sets in this adulting challenge, that if you are, building up a new photography, experience, and you're like, this is what we have, kind of like, this is how I set up lighting, 1, 2, 3. Don't get afraid to overshare. People are not going to steal that content. They're not going to do it. They would have done it a long time ago. So you saying, hey, I just bought this new, I just used this new, I just took this new training, and this is how I'm going to implement it, you absolutely will stay top of mind. Okay. So cadence of that, great question. I know you asked it. Someone asked it in the comments, is quarterly. Okay. You do not have to come up with a brand new tutorial, a brand new, framework, how to, but quarterly, give it some gusto. Give it a week for you to break down a series. Give it a week in that quarter to go Facebook Live every single day and break down an individual specialized step. Okay. People are tired of just getting high level framework. All right. It's hard to implement as an adult. It's hard to remember as an adult. So, my encouragement is that you absolutely get broken down steps for you so that you can start utilizing that as, hey, now if you want to work with me further, now sign up for, now download for, but give them a runway of a tutorial. Okay. Number 3, write it down, is a personal project that you are working on. This is a way for you to humanize your marketing content. So something that you are not necessarily, blitzing out, you're not working on this giant, journal or book or podcast or, just kind of a larger framework. This is for you to slow down and say, a personal project I'm working on in my office, a personal project I'm working on, to synthesize this. So this is a way that you get a little bit more personal with your audience, and they get to see you as a business owner. They get to see you as a mother. They get to see you as a significant other. They get to see you outside of just business you. And it's something that, maybe you're planning a 2-week, trip that you've been wanting to do, an Alaskan fishing trip, right? Personal project. It doesn't have to be professional, bound. It could be something that you worked on. So for me, several years I've worked on my, health and wellness journey, taking up bodybuilding, and I let my audience know what I was experiencing with that. Like, hey, outside of coaching and outside of structure and outside of speaking and all those moving parts and formal networking, like, I'm hitting the gym 2 hours a day, and I am humbled. And I am, I'm seeing how much it takes to see like 1% of progress. And so I let people in as part of just my marketing conversation so that when people got to know me, they just understood, how is that going? People ask that. How's bodybuilding? Are you competing this season? Like, even this week, I had someone new into my pipeline, and she's like, are you competing this season? And I'm like, oh, no, we're not talking business. You're talking Connie. Okay. So make it a little bit more humanized in your marketing messaging. Now, how often do you kind of weave that in, right? We don't need to be explaining everything personal to every part of your audience, but I like to encourage, there's about 2 times a year that you're kind of taking the curtain back and you're explaining a personal project, a passion project that you're working on that has nothing related to your business. It makes you so much more approachable. It makes you so much more like it's not going to be scary to go talk to you about this issue I'm troubleshooting or this kind of insecurity. So if they only see you as PR business owner in your marketing message, you're missing the boat. Adulting in 2023 is that there has to be a human element, or you're gonna get washed out, right? They're not gonna listen. They're not gonna take an action step. So find your 2 campaigns. We're on the second half of this year. So figure out what's going to be a personal project you're going to share to your audience. It's a fundraiser event. It's a passion project. It's something in health and wellness or finances or travel or, a just huge passion that you're like, hey, I want to like go back and get this degree that has nothing to do with, or I committed to a 5-day, retreat. Like, open up the veil of who you are. People will relate to that. And I know sometimes it gets scary, but people will relate to that and have more of a conversation with you and can ask some more questions when they go into your sales funnel. Okay. That's the whole purpose of marketing, right? Is to get them attracted to any of your lead magnets, any of your sales techniques, any of the ways that they come into your pipeline. All right, last but not least is a guide to download. All right, so this can be very simple. This does not have to be technically difficult. But if you have not given your audience in your email campaigns, in your Facebook Lives, in any of your reels, and any of your calls to action in your events, and you don't have a freebie, right? So people sometimes call these a freebie. Just a quick download. They give their name, they give you their email, they give you their phone number, and they get this one page, this white paper, the best of the best, the checklist. I'm going to encourage you that for Q3, if that's been on your list, that is an amazing marketing tool to give other people to use on your behalf, right? They can say, oh my gosh, you got to download such and such, and it helps build your email list, right? So absolutely brainstorm. If you're not there yet, that's why it's number 4. What could your guide to download for free be? Is it a how-to? Is it a checklist? Is it an audit? Is it a quiz? Just spend today's challenge, honestly, is number 1, number 2, number 3. Those are pretty black and white. But I will tell you that on your website, in your newsletter, as a CTA, a call to action from here on out with your marketing, whether it's face-to-face marketing or whether it's passive marketing, there has to be an opt-in. Okay, like it's not negotiable anymore. It's not like, oh, the people with the real businesses have that. Like they have to have an opt-in. So what is your opt-in going to be? If you need some questions around that, some ideas around that, put that in the comment section. But that is your challenge for today, for Tuesday. All right. That is like marketing 101 of what we need to be doing for 2023 and beyond. So let me know your greatest takeaway. I look forward to hearing how you implemented, what ideas you have for your download. That could be your free tutorial, your free checklist. Get pen to paper on this. Again, I always say out of your head onto paper or it's not real. And I look forward to supporting you, giving you some ideas or brainstorming with you in the chat. All right, everyone, enjoy your Tuesday. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.